Hey guys, it's Robin and
Veda.
we are going to quickly go over the FTP assessment training plan for should be your last workout of this month. So that's what we're going to end with every single month to give them a little bit of a challenge and something to work forward. So, Nevada, I'll let you start.
Y'all, this is a really important week because the information that we gather from this training plan will be something that your participants will reflect on and use every time you coach them over the next few weeks. So you really need to impress upon them. This is a test. If someone has test anxiety, then they should actually kind of feel that going in. It's that important that they bring their A game. So as we go through this training plan, one of the first things I want to tell you is it might be a good idea the night before when you can email your participants to just give them a heads up about how important this assessment is and go ahead and set that tone that it's game day. This is what you've been training for. This is, I think about it's almost football season, and this upcoming Saturday, Alabama plays whomever, and they've been working all year for this Saturday. So as you coach them up, you need to put them in that frame of mind that this is an important, every day is important, every day we train is important, but this is an assessment. This is game time. So to start out, that warm up, that flat road is your opportunity to, again, explain the assessment. The first 4 minutes, you'll be building up, and I've got this chart here. We've all seen the chart, but you know these numbers, the RPE numbers. So during that first 4 minutes, they're going to build up to a 6. So they're going to take all the way up, first getting on the bike, building up to get them to that 6 so that they can kind of breathe a little heavier, know that they're in for some really hard work. And then from there, they're going to prime the pump, and the pump is your heart. Do a 30-second push at an RPE 8, and then a 30-second recover at 6. Not complete recovery, but just bring it back down to a 6. You're going to repeat that twice, and then come into a 2-minute complete recovery. And that's just getting in their brain time, where you take that 2 or 3 minutes to just say, all right, y'all, you're about to do something that I'm going to ask you to give me all you've got for 5 minutes. So that warm up is a segment for you to reinforce what this is all about. And it's also a chance for them to prime the pump, to get themselves ready, to get breathless a little bit, and then recover to get ready for this 5-minute assessment. So Robin, what else? Is there anything else about that warm up that I should have?
I don't think so. I think once you get them, when you guys do push them, and that there's those 2 pushes, that you should, when you push them to that 8, rather than say recover, like kind of like Nevada said, just say, okay, bring it back down to that 6, and then I want you to push again, and you're slightly breathless, come back to that 8, rather than saying recover, because we don't want them to think, wah, wah, wah. Now, they are going to recover at the end of that, because we do want them to be ready, ready to go, because 5 minutes, all you have is going to be hard.
And as we look at that 5-minute FTP assessment, having a game plan. And I really want you as the coach to think about, well, how do you want to coach them up? If it were me, what I would do is I would say, y'all, let's don't look at the entire 5 minutes. Let's look at the first half and the second half. So we're going to go through this first 2.5 minutes together, where you're just giving it everything you've got, up to an 8.5 or a 9 in that RPE scale. And Robin, touch on what we talked about earlier with, it's hard to hold a 9 for 5 minutes.
Yeah. So if they come right out of the gate, you know, okay, 3, 2, 1, 5 minutes, boom, and they hit that 9, and they're trying to hold a 9, it's going to start to look like this, and then this, and then this, and then this. So what we want is it, you know, once you spend the first couple seconds getting there, once you get there, for it to be a little bit more like this, as far as their perceived rate of exertion. So an 8.5-ish or a 9, but not having high peaks and lows. So just hanging in at how hard can this be, where I can do it for 5 minutes, but dang, I don't really know if I can do it for 5 minutes. Does that?
Yeah, and so
Yeah.
that leveling off at that top intensity will keep that average power where it needs to be. If you see an athlete that's up here and then brings it back down and then is up here and then brings it back down, if you look at that, their average is going to be somewhere in here, right in the middle of that. I mean, if you average that top level of execution and then down here, then your average is brought down. But if you can get it up there and hold it, then your average is higher. And that's what you want to do, is keep that average as much on that level but high plane effort as you can. So you've got that first 2.5 minutes. You can coach them up and say, you have survived the first 2.5 minutes. Look at the live power at the top of your screen, and then look at what you've held, that average power, bottom left of your screen. And then for that final 2.5 minutes, can you keep that live power at, or maybe even an extra watt above what you had in the first 2.5 minutes? So you get them through that second half, and then when there's 10 seconds left, you let them know that that finish line is 10 seconds away, and then count them down. 3, 2, 1, give me a sprint. The final 10 seconds is an all out 10. They're not having to think about pacing anymore. They completely drain the tank for the last 10 seconds. During this entire 5 minutes though, and this is really important, y'all, we don't talk about cadence very much during crank, during this class, but tell your participants that they need to keep their cadence right around 80 to 90 RPMs. We don't want to see somebody that's in there cranking out a 60 RPM and that their power is up at 300, because that's not really an assessment of their functional threshold. We're not taking them to the point where we need them to be anaerobically. So that 60 RPM would bring their heart rate down. And that's not what our goal is. Our goal is to keep that heart rate up there. So keep them at that 80 to 90 RPM cadence. Don't let them drop that thing way down there. What else about that, Robin?
I think that's it. But just, yeah, really emphasize, because you know some of our people, they like to ride at 65 RPMs. That's what they're good at. So it's going to be a challenge for them to find the right resistance and keep that cadence up for that entire time. So I would say, you know, and do this as you're coaching. I know when we took it in the last live little training that we had, Nevada was coaching the FTP, and I was on the bike taking it, and she walked up and looked at my number and was like, "Don't let that drop. Hang on to it." So it's going to be really important that you guys really look at their numbers, coach them, let them know they can do it, because I wanted to let it drop, and I probably would have if Nevada hadn't seen my number.
But you didn't let it drop, so there.
Yep. Yep.
So you're going to get them through that. After it's over, they're going to want to stop pedaling. You're going to want to encourage them to take the resistance off and pedal slowly, to give them some time to recover. Do not let them clear their screen. Once they start and stop that stage of 5 minutes, you want that data. You don't want to have to say, oh no, you lost the data. You want to have that data. So, and we should have said this in the very beginning, during this class, it's important that they have their phone handy, because during that 2-minute recovery, we want them to either take a picture of their screen, or they're going to ingrain that FTP average, that power average bottom left-hand corner. They're going to want to have that number because we need that data. So if they take a picture of it with their phone, that's one easy way to have that data handy so that they can turn in their information. This number that they get during the 5 minutes isn't actually their FTP. An FTP assessment is actually an hour long, but we don't have an hour. So what we have to do is complete the 5-minute test, collect the data, which is the average power that they hit for the 5 minutes. And then after that, they're going to get to put that information into a Google form. And from there, we're going to push it into a spreadsheet that's going to push back to them their actual power hour number, which is 85% of the 5 minutes. So that 85% of the 5 minutes is actually what their power hour, their FTP would be. And then from there, I know this is a lot of information, stay with me though, but from there, that is what they're going to need to have to know what intervals they should push during the next few weeks of training. So we'll give the information back to them that will include their actual power hour, 85% of the 5 minutes, and what interval wattage they should push during crank and plank for the next 4 weeks. So it's really important that we collect the data and we don't lose the data. I'm going to also, you'll have access to a QR code, which is just one of those things that they can scan after class. So that we did that during the live sessions. It was the FTP collection, the data collection. But then also you'll get this Google form link that will have the opportunity for them to see this. And it's the form. So they'll have the opportunity to collect that data, and I'll get the information pushed back to them so they'll know their FTP and their interval data for the next upcoming 4 weeks. All right, what else, Robin?
So hey, put that. Do you mind leaving that little form back? So I'm gonna stay tuned for the plank the core portion, but for your finisher, we are going to do a plank challenge. We figured since we're testing how we progressed as far as our cardio and our power, that we'll do the same thing with our core. So we're going to do a plank challenge. Anybody can do it any way they want to, but in order to score, so if you think of it, if you're familiar with CrossFit, they give a recommendation in order for you to RX, the prescribed whatever. So our goal is for everyone to be able to do it on their forearms and on their toes. So even if there's someone who normally does it on their knees, have them try it on their toes. And if they last 10 seconds, they last 10 seconds. Then that's what they can put down as their answer, so that the next time they do it, they can see if they progressed. So for them, so they might do it for 10 seconds on their toes and then drop to their knees. 10 seconds is going to be their answer, but they can hold plank for the rest of the time, because I want them to stay in work if they want to, right? But in order for it to be prescribed, what we're counting as the data, they need to be on their toes and on their forearms. And when they're out, when they're just like out, they're out, we're going to use that time to like encourage those ones that are still hanging on and kind of build that team. Like, hang on, you know, Nevada and Molly are still on their toes. They're still hanging on. Let's go. Come on, guys. Can you do it? A few more seconds. Hold on. Keep your core in, you know, just kind of getting that team thing going on. But again, people are welcome to do it on their knees. I'm not saying they can't. I want to encourage, because I know that not everyone can do it on their toes, but I want that to be their goal. So when they answer this question, it will be, how long was I able to do it on my toes and on my forearm.
Perfect.
Yep.
So that data collection that we're going to do, they can plug part of it in here, but then at the end of class, they'll want to be able to plug in that the Plank portion and then hit submit, and then I'll get it on a spreadsheet form and I'll push back to them their results. So after you've recovered and we've talked about data collection, we're going right into the second portion, and the 5-minute assessment is the most important assessment during the crank
I
portion.
didn't mean to jump into the plank. I don't know where that came from. I got ahead of myself.
Put you there. I went ahead and
I put the cart before the horse.
That's all good. But you're going to also do, after we recover and we've done the data collection, but not hit submit yet because we're going to do the plank portion, then you're going to give them the opportunity to do a couple of 5-second sprints. Now, you don't have to hit any buttons other than, it's not like a start and stop on a stage, but on the right-hand side of the monitor, if you hit the right-hand button twice, on your screen will pop up max power that you've hit during class. So what you'll do is you'll coach them up and say, hit the right button twice. It will pop up, this is max power that that person has hit on their screen. You will tell them, I want you to completely annihilate that number. You're going to coach them through a 5-second sprint at an RPE of 10. This is all out. They're going to hit their max on the front end of that 5 seconds, most likely, if you've coached them up correctly to be in the correct gear to sprint with, and to make sure that they've got their pedal speed ready, because they're going to want to overcome the pedals, probably come out of the saddle. Most of the participants will need to come out of the saddle for this 5-second sprint. Hit it and then recover, and then give them a chance to hit it again a second time, because the first time you're trying to figure things out. The second time you've got it figured out, you've got your game plan, you'll probably beat the number that you got the first time. So use that right button, hit it twice, and get those max sprints in there. So when they see that data collection, they're going to see the form where you've got an opportunity to turn in 3 different things on that assessment. You've got the FTP. Where am I? Yeah, you've got the FTP here, which is the 5-minute average power. And then you've got max sprints, the best of the 2. And then you've got how long did you hold the plank? So we're collecting a lot of data. The good news is we are giving them individualized feedback and letting them compete against themselves, which is awesome, especially in this class, because we really don't give them that much of an opportunity in other Group X classes to compete against themselves where data is collected. So this, what gets measured gets managed. That is so true. So we're measuring stuff. That's cool. What else?
I think that's all. You think?
I think so, y'all, but we're always here if you have questions or if there's anything that's confusing or whatever.
Yeah.
Hit us up.
Absolutely. And so this, you can refer to this every time you do an FTP. This is what you'll do. That way we don't have to do this video at the end of every month. You know, it's the last Friday of the month. That's when I do my FTP. That's when I have my class. I'm going to go to this and use this training plan. And I will get with you about the core portion for this. And I kind of already gave you a little heads up on the finisher. So look for that soon. And I think that's it. Nevada, just hang on and I'll end the recording if you're ready.
Okay, perfect.
All right, call us if you need us. Email us, whatever.